The night everything exploded. Oh, nobody was ready for what happened that night. People thought they knew Yandy and Mendeecees. They thought they were the perfect couple. The kind of couple that made fans say, "Wow, that's real love." They had been through everything. Cheating rumors, court problems, business drama, people talking behind their backs. And still, Yandy stayed. She stood beside Mendeecees like a soldier, like a ride-or-die queen. So everyone believed. Nothing could break them. But oh, they were wrong. Because what happened in Atlanta wasn't just a fight. It wasn't just an argument. It was a relationship earthquake. The kind of moment that destroys everything. And it all started with one simple night. A night that was supposed to be romantic. A night that was supposed to be peaceful. A night that was supposed to be just a date. The perfect beginning. The lounge was expensive. The kind of place where the lights are low. The music is soft. And everyone looks rich. Atlanta's elite were there. Reality stars. Rappers. Influencers. People who love gossip. And then, Yandy and Mendeecees walked in. And at first, they looked perfect. Yandy wore a designer dress. Her hair was flawless. Her makeup was glowing. Mendeecees had a fresh haircut. A sharp outfit. He looked like a man who wanted to be seen. Together, they looked like royalty. Like the kind of couple that owns the room. But people watching closely noticed something. Something felt off. Yandy's smile didn't reach her eyes. Her face was tight, like she was holding something inside. And Mendeecees, he couldn't stop looking at his phone. His eyes kept dropping down. His fingers kept tapping, like he was distracted, or nervous, or hiding something. The air between them felt heavy, like a storm waiting to happen. But no one knew. The storm was already walking through the door. And then, Scrappy arrived. The music kept playing. People laughed. Drinks clinked. And then, Scrappy walked in. Now, if you know love and hip-hop, you know Scrappy isn't just some random guy. Scrappy has history. Scrappy has drama. Scrappy has connections. And most importantly, Scrappy has a complicated past with Mendeecees. They were cool, but not really. They smiled, but the tension was always there. So when Scrappy spotted Yandy, he walked right over. Confident, unbothered, like he belonged there. He leaned in and hugged Yandy. A little too friendly, a little too comfortable. And Mendeecees, though, Mendeecees froze. His body went stiff. His jaw tightened. His eyes darkened instantly. Something inside him snapped. Scrappy gave a quick nod, then walked away like nothing happened. But Mendeecees couldn't let it go. Not even for a second. The whisper that changed everything. After Scrappy left the table, Yandy leaned closer to Mendeecees. She whispered something soft, something only he could hear. At first, Mendeecees didn't respond. Then, his hand slammed down. His glass shook. The drink spilled slightly. And Mendeecees muttered, "So that's what we're doing now." Yandy blinked innocently. "I don't know what you're talking about." But her voice, too calm, too smooth, like she was playing a game. Mendeecees leaned forward. His voice grew sharper. "Don't play with me, Yandy." The table went quiet. Nearby people started looking. Mendeecees stood up slowly. His chair scraped against the floor. "Don't sit here in my face and act like you don't know what's going on." Yandy didn't flinch. She rolled her eyes. Then she said something. Something so cold. It could have turned the whole room to ice. If you're so pressed, why don't you go ask Scrappy? The room stopped breathing. That sentence hit like thunder. Mendy's face turned red. Not a little red. Crimson. Like fire. His hands trembled. His lips parted. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Yandy leaned back. Calm. Unbothered. And she whispered, I think you know exactly what it means. Oh, that was it. That was the match. And Mendeecees. He was gasoline. Security started moving. The guards noticed immediately. They saw Mendeecees shaking. They saw his anger building. His breathing became heavy. His fists clenched. Then, he grabbed Yandy's arm. Not enough to hurt her, but enough for everyone to notice. Yandy yanked away fast. Her eyes flashed. Don't touch me. And that's when Mendeecees completely lost his mind. The table flipped in one violent motion. Mendeecees grabbed the table and flipped it over. Glasses shattered. Bottles crashed. Ice flew across the floor. People screamed. Chairs scraped back. Phones came out instantly. Because in Atlanta, drama isn't just drama. It's content. Security rushed forward. But Mendeecees was roaring now. Who do you think you are? You think you can embarrass me? His voice echoed through the lounge. Yandy. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't run. She just smiled and said softly, maybe you should ask Scrappy. And then Scrappy walked back in. As security dragged Mendeecees toward the door, guess who appeared again? Scrappy, walking in slowly, looking calm, like he was watching a movie. Mendeecees spotted him. His eyes went wild. It's him, isn't it? You've been seeing Scrappy behind my back. Everyone held their breath, waiting for Yandy to deny it, waiting for her to say no, waiting for her to explain. But instead, she said something that changed everything forever. Maybe you should have been paying more attention. Scrappy shrugged. It is what it is, bro. Mendeecees lunged. Security grabbed him harder. The whole lounge exploded into chaos. And that was only the beginning. The internet doesn't sleep. And Atlanta definitely doesn't. By the time Marcus's explosion at the Velvet Room hit social media, it was already everywhere. Clips of the table flip. Slow motion, replays of the shattered glasses. Zoomed in screenshots of Yara's calm face. Blog captions screamed. Power couple meltdown. Marcus King loses control in VIP. Who is Rico to Yara? But that was just the appetizer. The main course was coming. And it rolled up about 45 minutes later. The car that changed everything. Outside the lounge, paparazzi waited like vultures. They had heard the commotion. Security dragging Marcus out. Shouting. Chaos. But no one expected what they saw next. A sleek black SUV pulled up to the side entrance. Not the front. The side. Private. Quiet. Rico stepped out first. Calm. Cool. Like nothing had happened inside. He opened the passenger door. And Yara stepped out. Not rushing. Not hiding. Not covering her face. She adjusted her dress. Smoothed her hair. And smiled. Rico placed his hand gently on her lower back. Guiding her. Protecting her. Or claiming her. Depending on how you saw it. Cameras flashed like lightning. Yara didn't flinch. She leaned in close to Rico. Whispered something in his ear. And then they drove off together. The destination. Downtown Atlanta. The Grand Meridian Hotel. 5-star. Luxury suites. Private elevators. The kind of place where celebrities disappear. Or think they do. But someone had followed them. A freelance photographer. Hungry. Vast. And lucky. He snapped photos as the SUV pulled into valet. Rico stepped out. Walked around. Opened Yara's door again. This time, his hand rested on her waist longer. She didn't move it. Didn't step away. Didn't look uncomfortable. If anything, she leaned into him. Just slightly. Just enough. Enough to make it undeniable. They walked inside together. No rush. No panic. Like two people who had done this before. The photo that broke the internet. At 2:17 a.m., the first image dropped. Blurry, but clear enough. Yara and Rico at the Grand Meridian. Side by side. Close. The caption. Spotted. YARADANILSCHECKS into hotel with Rico HOURS after MARCUS King meltdown. The comments exploded. No way. She bowled for that. That ain't new energy. MARCUS was right. They've been sneaking. Within 20 minutes, bigger blogs picked it up. Clearer photos surfaced. Angles from different lenses. One shot showed Rico's hand firmly on her waist. Another showed Yara smiling up at him in the hotel lobby. That smile wasn't friendly. It wasn't polite. It was soft, personal, familiar. And that's when the narrative shifted. This wasn't a random comfort moment. This wasn't two friends talking. This looked like something deeper. Something planned. Back at MARCUS house. Marcus was packing. Phone in hand. Still angry. Still shaking. His manager's voice blasted through the speaker. Have you seen the photos? Marcus stopped moving. What photos? Silence. Then a message notification. Image received. Marcus tapped it. And froze. There she was. Yara. His wife. At a hotel. With Rico. Not hiding. Not denying. Standing close. Smiling. Marcus felt something worse than anger. Worse than rage. Humiliation. His chest tightened. She thinks this is funny, he muttered. She thinks she can play me. His manager spoke carefully. This doesn't look new. Marcus zoomed into the image. Rico's hand placement. Yara's body language. Too comfortable. Too natural. Like muscle memory. Like routine. Marcus's breathing changed. She's been doing this, he whispered. For how long? Inside the hotel. Meanwhile, upstairs in Suite 1904. Yara sat on the edge of a velvet couch. Shoes off. Hair slightly undone. Rico poured 2 glasses of champagne. Crazy night, he said casually. Yara laughed softly. Understatement. He handed her a glass. Their fingers brushed. She didn't pull away. You knew he'd react like that, Rico said. Yara took a slow sip. I knew eventually. Eventually. She looked at him carefully. Some secrets don't stay quiet forever. Rico studied her face. You sure about this? Yara held his gaze. Instead of answering, she leaned back. Comfortable. Confident. Like someone who had already made her decision. The morning after. At 8:03 a.m., Yara posted to Instagram. No apology. No explanation. Just a video. Passenger seat. Sunlight hitting her face. Soft music playing in the background. The camera turned slightly. Rico was driving. Hand on the steering wheel. Calm. Focused. The caption. What's done in the dark always comes to light. That was it. No names. No tags. No denial. Just fire. Within seconds. Comments flooded in. YRA what? Is that Rico driving? This messy. She don't care. Emercius, PUNC Chenji air right now. The clip went viral in under an hour. News outlets embedded it in articles. Radio stations discussed it live. Morning talk shows debated it. And Marcus, he saw it all. Every comment, every meme, every laughing emoji. The realization. Marcus sat in silence, phone still in his hand. He replayed the video. Rico driving. Yara relaxed. No fear. No guilt. Just peace. That's when it hit him. This wasn't revenge. This wasn't impulsive. This wasn't a rebound. This looked established. Like something that had been growing quietly. Behind closed doors. Behind business trips. Behind late meetings. Marcus opened his photo gallery. Scrolled back. Business trip in Miami. Yara busy with work. New York conference. Yara too tired to travel. Chicago investor meeting. Yara visiting family. His stomach dropped. Patterns. Gaps. Moments that didn't make sense. Now they did. The call that changed everything. Marcus dialed one number. Andre. Old friend. Owner of one of Atlanta's biggest gossip platforms. Andre answered immediately. You calling about the hotel? Marcus's voice was cold. You want the real story? Andre went quiet. Always. Marcus took a breath. She's been seeing him for months. Silence. You sure? I have proof. That wasn't fully true. Not yet. But Marcus believed it. And belief is powerful. Andre's voice sharpened. You ready to go public? Marcus stared at the paused image of Yara in Rico's car. No, he said slowly. I'm ready to go to war. Meanwhile, Yara didn't look worried. Not online. Not publicly. But later that afternoon. Alone. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. No greeting. Just a voice. You think this is going to end quietly. Yara recognized it instantly. Marcus. Her jaw tightened. It already ended, she replied. Silence. You embarrassed me. Yara's voice didn't shake. You embarrassed yourself. Click. She hung up. And for the first time that day, her hands trembled slightly. Because she knew Marcus. And Marcus didn't lose. He retaliated. What no one knew. Behind the scenes, something bigger was forming. Lawyers were being contacted. Old messages were being recovered. Financial records were being reviewed. Because if this was betrayal, it wasn't just emotional. It might be business. And when love mixes with contracts, things get dangerous. The hotel sighting wasn't just gossip. It was confirmation. It was gasoline. It was the moment everyone realized. This wasn't a fight. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was war. And Marcus King was just getting started. Let's go deeper. Because now it's not just drama. It's strategy. It's receipts. It's revenge. Revenge doesn't always scream. Sometimes, it sits quietly in the dark. Planning. Calculating. Waiting. Marcus King had stopped yelling. Stopped packing. Stopped throwing things. Now he was still. And that was more dangerous. The search. Marcus sat at his kitchen table at 1:42 a.m. Laptop open. Phone beside him. House silent. The internet was still buzzing about the hotel photos. But Marcus wasn't reading comments anymore. He was searching, digging, looking for patterns. He opened old emails, scrolled through shared calendars, checked transaction alerts. At first, it felt random. Little things. Hotel charges that didn't match his travel schedule. Flights booked last minute. Car services he didn't recognize. Then, he saw it. A boutique hotel in Miami. 6 months ago. 2 nights. Paid from their joint business account. Marcus hadn't been in Miami. He had been in Chicago. For a branding conference. He pulled up his messages with Yara from that weekend. Miss you. Busy but thinking about you. Can't wait to see you when you get back. Marcus leaned back slowly. His heart wasn't racing anymore. It was steady. Cold. He whispered to himself. Show me everything. The thread. Marcus opened cloud backups. Yara's old tablet was still linked to their shared account. He hadn't thought about that in years. He clicked, scrolled, then froze. There it was. A conversation thread. Not saved under Rico's name. Saved under R. Marcus clicked it. The first messages were harmless. Great seeing you. Last night was crazy lol. You made it home safe. Then the tone shifted. I miss you already. Wish you were here. Counting down the days. Marcus scrolled faster. Dates matched his out-of-town trips. Every time he traveled, the messages increased. Plans, meetups, private jokes, inside language. And then one message made his stomach drop. Don't worry, he'll never know. Marcus stared at that sentence. Read it again. And again. Something inside him hardened. This wasn't rumor. This wasn't suspicion. This was evidence. The call to Yandy. Andre answered on the first ring. You got something. Marcus didn't waste words. I have messages. Andre inhaled sharply. Screenshots. Yes. You sure you want to go this route? Marcus stared at the message. He'll never know. They made me a joke, Marcus said quietly. I'm done protecting her. Andre's voice lowered. If this drops, it's nuclear. Marcus replied. Let it burn. The second discovery. Just when Marcus thought he had enough, he found something worse. A wire transfer. Large. From their joint business account. Destination, a music studio investment. Owner listed. Darius Lane. Rika. Marcus blinked. He checked the date. 3 months ago. He had signed off on the account casually. Trusted her. Trusted them. He zoomed into the memo line. Consulting fee. Marcus laughed. But it wasn't a happy sound. She funded him. Now it wasn't just cheating. It was money. Money mixed with betrayal hits differently. It feels heavier. More personal. More permanent. Inside Yara's world. Meanwhile, Yara wasn't relaxing like people thought. Yes, she posted calmly. Yes, she smiled publicly. But inside her condo, she was reading articles, watching narratives form. The story was turning. At first it was. Marcus loses control. Now it was. Was Marcus right? That shift scared her. Her phone buzzed. Rika. You good? He asked. Yara hesitated. For now. You knew this would explode. She closed her eyes briefly. Yes. Regret it. Silence. Then. No. But her voice wasn't as steady as before. The plan. Marcus didn't release the screenshots immediately. He was smarter than that. He called his lawyer first, sat across from him in a quiet office, placed printed screenshots on the desk. The lawyer read silently, then looked up. If these are authentic, they are. You have grounds for financial misconduct, possibly breach of fiduciary duty. Marcus nodded slowly. And defamation, he asked. The lawyer tilted his head. If their relationship damaged your brand contracts, we can explore interference. Marcus leaned back. So legally, you have options. Options. That word felt powerful. The leak. Instead of dropping everything at once, Marcus played chess. Andre posted a teaser. No names. No direct accusations. Just a headline. Atlanta power couple scandal may involve secret financial ties. The internet exploded again. Speculation went wild. Was it about Yara? Was Rico involved? Why money? Why business? Yara saw it within minutes. Her stomach dropped. She called Marcus. He didn't answer. She texted, "What are you doing?" 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. No reply. The studio visit. Rico was in his studio when he got the alert. He read the blog headline twice, then called Yara immediately. You tell him about the investment. No. You sure? Yes. Silence. Then Rico muttered. He found something. Yara's chest tightened. He doesn't have proof. Rico's voice lowered. Are you sure about that? That question lingered in the air like smoke. The DISS track. If legal wasn't enough, Marcus had another weapon. Music. He booked studio time quietly. No announcements. No leaks. Just him. A producer. And anger. He stepped into the booth. Headphones on. Mic glowing red. And he started speaking. Not yelling. Not screaming. Just controlled. Measured. Cold. You smiled in my face, lying in his sheets. Built him with my money, now you tasting defeat. I gave you my crown, you handed him keys. You thought I was blind, but I see everything. The producer looked through the glass. Wide-eyed. Marcus wasn't just venting. He was exposing. Every line hinted at real events. Real transfers. Real messages. And he wasn't naming names. But he didn't have to. Everyone would know. The warning. That night, Rico received a message. Unknown number. Just one sentence. He's recording. Rico showed Yara. Her hands felt cold. He wouldn't, she said. Rico stared at her. You saw him at that lounge. She swallowed. Yes, she had. And she knew something now. Marcus wasn't reacting. He was building. The final piece. At 11:57 p.m., Marcus received confirmation. A forensic tech verified the message backups. Authentic. Time-stamped. Untampered. Marcus closed his laptop slowly. 3 things now sat in front of him. The messages. The financial transfers. The track. He wasn't just hurt anymore. He was armed. And the reunion episode. 2 weeks away. Live audience. Cameras. Lights. Microphones. Marcus whispered into the quiet room. You wanted the spotlight. His eyes hardened. I'll give you the whole stage. The internet thought the hotel was the peak. It was. It was just proof. Proof that something had been happening. Now the question was, did she cheat? The question was, what would Marcus do with what he knew? And when that diss track drops, when those receipts go public, Atlanta won't just watch. It will choose sides. There is something dangerous about a reunion stage. It looks glamorous. Bright lights, velvet couches, perfect makeup, sparkling outfits. But it's not a celebration. It's a battlefield. And tonight, war was scheduled. The setup. The studio buzzed like electricity. Producers ran back and forth. Assistants adjusted microphones. Audience members whispered. Everyone knew this wasn't going to be a normal reunion. This wasn't just, let's recap the season. This was unfinished business. Broken marriages. Hotel photos. Secret messages. A diss track that hadn't dropped yet, but everyone had heard rumors about. And 3 people who hadn't spoken face to face since everything exploded. Yara Daniels. Marcus King. Darius Rico Lane. The host walked to center stage. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is going to be honest. The crowd murmured. They didn't want honest. They wanted explosive. The entrances. First out was Yara. Silver gown. Calm face. Chin high. She walked like someone who refused to look guilty. Applause mixed with whispers. Then Rico. Black suit. Cool expression. Hands in pockets. He nodded to the crowd like he was arriving at an awards show, not a trial. Then silence. The host raised a hand. And finally, Marcus King. The lights dimmed slightly. Marcus stepped out. No flashy outfit. No smile. Just presence. The crowd reacted instantly. Not cheers. Not boos. Just tension. He walked to his seat. Didn't look at Yara. Didn't look at Rico. Sat down slowly. The war had officially begun. The first question. The host didn't waste time. Marcus, the velvet room, what happened? Marcus leaned forward. Calm. Measured. I reacted. Why? Marcus finally turned his head toward Yara. Because I knew something was off. Yara didn't blink. You didn't know, you assumed. Marcus smiled slightly. No, I confirmed. The audience gasped softly. Rico shifted in his seat. The host jumped in. Yara, were you seeing Rico while married to Marcus? The room froze. Yara inhaled slowly, then spoke clearly. I was unhappy. That's not the question, Marcus said quietly. The crowd murmured louder. The host pressed again. Were you involved with Rico? Yara hesitated. That hesitation was louder than any confession. Finally, yes. The word dropped heavy. Not dramatic. Not loud. Just real. The audience reacted immediately. Some shocked. Some whispering, I knew it. Marcus didn't move. Didn't shout. Didn't explode. That scared everyone more. The RCAPTS. The host turned to Marcus. You said you confirmed it. How? Marcus reached beside his chair. Picked up a folder. Thick. Neat. Organized. The room shifted instantly. Yara's eyes narrowed. Rico leaned forward. Marcus opened the folder slowly. Pulled out printed pages. These, he said calmly, are messages. The screen behind them lit up. Blurry at first. Then clear. Text messages. Dates. Timestamps. The message appeared on the screen. Don't worry, he'll never know. The audience gasped. Yara's face changed for the first time. Not panic, but realization. Marcus wasn't bluffing. The host blinked. Yara. She swallowed. I never thought. You never thought I'd check, Marcus finished. Silence. Then Marcus pulled out another document. And this, he continued, is a wire transfer from our joint business account. The screen shifted again. Transaction details. Amount. Recipient name, D. Lane Productions. Rico's jaw tightened. The audience started talking over each other. The host raised her voice. Rico, did you receive business funds from Yara while she was married? Rico leaned back slowly. It was an investment. Without your husband's knowledge, the host asked. Rico didn't answer immediately. Marcus did. It was my money too. The breakdown. For the first time that night, Yara's calm cracked. You're acting like I robbed you, she snapped. Marcus turned to her fully. You lied to me. You ignored me for years. I built everything we have. And I held it together while you were busy being a king. The audience reacted loudly. The tension broke open. Now it wasn't just cheating. It was years of resentment. Yara stood up. You want to talk about attention? Let's talk about how I begged you to see me. Marcus stood too. Security stepped closer. Not touching. Just ready. Rico finally spoke. This ain't just about me. Marcus looked at him sharply. No, it's about loyalty. Rico's voice cooled. Loyalty goes both ways. The DISS track dropped. The host tried to regain control. Marcus, there are rumors you recorded a track about this situation. The audience leaned forward. Marcus didn't hesitate. Play it. The producer backstage paused, then nodded. The studio speakers came alive. The beat was slow, heavy. Then Marcus's voice echoed through the room. You smiled in my face while building with my throne. Signed his name in secret while calling this home. You thought I was blind, but kings don't sleep. I was counting every move, every lie, every creep. The audience erupted. Gasps. Shouts. Phones recording. Yara stood frozen. Rico's face hardened. The track continued. I gave you a crown. You handed him keys. Funded his rise while you buried me. The music cut abruptly. Silence. Heavy. Thick. The host whispered. Marcus, that's devastating. Marcus stared straight ahead. It's honest. The face-off. Rico stood slowly. You trying to ruin careers now. Marcus faced him directly. You did that when you crossed me. Rico stepped forward. Security moved instantly. Yara stepped between them. Stop, both of you. The crowd roared. This was it. The moment. Years of pride. Love. Jealousy. Money. Everything boiling. Rico spoke through clenched teeth. You don't own her. Marcus replied calmly. I own trust. Yara looked between them. Her voice shook slightly. I am not property. I made choices. Marcus nodded slowly. Yes, you did. And somehow, that was colder than anger. The final question. The host asked the one thing everyone wanted answered. Yara, do you regret it? Silence. Long. Painful. Yara looked at Marcus. Then Rico. Then the audience. I regret how it happened. Marcus closed his eyes briefly. Not from sadness, but acceptance. That answer told him everything. The end of the king. As the reunion wrapped, the crowd still buzzing. Marcus didn't storm off. Didn't yell. Didn't threaten. He removed his wedding ring, placed it on the small table between them, and said softly, I don't fight for people who don't fight for me. He stood, walked off stage, not defeated, not destroyed, just done. The cameras followed him until he disappeared backstage. The screen faded to black, and the words appeared. To be continued. Because this wasn't over. Not legally. Not financially. Not emotionally. The reunion didn't end the war. It only made the lines clear. Now everyone had chosen sides. Now everything was public. Now reputations were on the line. And Atlanta was watching. The reunion stage is bright. But what happens after? That's where the darkness lives. Because cameras eventually turn off. Audience members go home. The host smiles and thanks everyone. But the damage stays. And after that night, nothing was the same again. The silence after the storm. Marcus didn't post, didn't tweet, didn't go live. He disappeared. No quotes, no interviews, no vague captions, just silence. And in the world of reality fame, silence is not peace. Silence is a warning. Behind closed doors, Marcus was no longer emotional. He was professional, cold, strategic, the kind of calm that scares people. Because rage burns fast. But calm lasts. The first domino, the contracts. 2 days after the reunion aired, the calls started. Brand managers, sponsors, business partners. The empire Marcus and Yara built together. It began cracking. A luxury fashion deal paused negotiations. A club partnership quietly backed out. A fitness endorsement sent a polite email. We are reevaluating our public image alignment. That was the nice way of saying, this is messy, we don't want it. Marcus sat in his office, reading the emails one by one. Then he whispered, so it begins. YARA's world shrinks. Yara thought she could handle the backlash. She told herself, people will forget, they always do. But this time was different. Because it wasn't just gossip. It wasn't just cheating rumors. It was receipts. Messages on a giant screen. Money transfers. A diss track. The story was Marcus overreacted. Now the story was Yara used business funds during an affair. That's not drama. That's legal. Her assistant called her that morning. Your skincare launch team wants to postpone. Yara blinked. Postpone, why? The assistant hesitated. They said, investors are nervous. Yara felt her throat tighten. Nervous. That word meant afraid. Afraid of scandal. Afraid of association. Afraid of her. Rico's reality check. Rico tried to act unbothered. He posted selfies, studio shots, cryptic captions like, truth always wins. But behind the scenes, he was sweating. Because Marcus wasn't just angry. Marcus was connected. Music executives started returning Rico's calls slower. One producer canceled a session. Another label meeting got rescheduled. Then a friend in the industry texted him, bro, Marcus is moving. Rico stared at the message. He finally understood something. Sleeping with someone's wife is messy. Sleeping with someone's wife who shares contracts with him. That's dangerous. The lawsuit. 1 week later, it dropped. Not on social media. Not through gossip blogs. Through official paperwork. Marcus King filed a civil lawsuit. Claims included emotional distress, interference with business relationships, financial misuse of joint assets, breach of fiduciary trust. The headline went nuclear. MARCUS King sues YARA DANILS and Rico Lane. CLAIMS, affair DAMAGD $1 million empire. Atlanta froze. Reality TV had never looked so real. Yara read the lawsuit in her kitchen. Hands trembling. Pages shaking. This wasn't reunion drama anymore. This was court. This was money. This was consequences. Her lawyer looked at her seriously. This could get ugly. Yara whispered, It already is. The public turns. Fans split into sides like a war. Team Marcus. She played him. He deserves justice. Receipts don't lie. Team Yara. He neglected her. She chose herself. He's punishing her for leaving. But even many supporters couldn't ignore one thing. The money. The transfers. That part changed everything. Even her closest friends started asking quietly, "Did you really use the business account?" Yara didn't answer. Because the truth was complicated. And complicated truth doesn't trend well online. Marcus' final move. Marcus wasn't done. He sat down for one interview. Just one. Exclusive. No screaming. No insults. Just calm. The journalist asked, "Marcus, why go this far?" Marcus looked straight into the camera. Because betrayal is one thing. He paused. But disrespect, public humiliation. His jaw tightened. That's something else. The journalist asked carefully, "Do you still love her?" Marcus didn't answer immediately. Then, "I loved who I thought she was." That sentence hit harder than any diss track. Why erase Kanji point? That night, Yara sat alone. No Rico. No friends. Just her phone glowing with endless commentary. She opened Instagram. Hovered over Go Live. Then stopped. For the first time since the scandal began. She didn't feel powerful. She felt tired. She whispered to herself, "What did I think would happen?" She wanted freedom. She wanted to be seen. But freedom came with fire. And she had underestimated the burn. Rico walks away. 2 weeks later, Rico finally did what no one expected. He left. Not dramatically. Not publicly. Just quietly distanced himself. A text to Yara. "This is getting too heavy." Yara stared at it. Anger rose in her chest. "So you can hold my waist in hotel lobbies. But you can't hold pressure." She didn't reply. Because she understood. Rico loved excitement. Not consequences. The price of betrayal. 3 months later, Marcus's empire survived. Smaller. Cleaner. Separate. He rebranded alone. Dropped the diss track officially. It charted. Not because it was catchy. Because it was real. Yara lost deals. Lost friends. Lost control of the narrative. She wasn't hated. She was cautionary. A lesson. And Rico's career stalled. Producers kept their distance. Labels didn't want drama attached. He wasn't canceled. He was avoided. And sometimes that's worse. Epilogue. Atlanta BRS. Atlanta never forgets a scandal. People still talk about the Velvet Room night. About the hotel sighting. About the reunion receipts. About Marcus placing that ring down like a mic drop. And in the end, it wasn't just a cheating story. It was a story about pride. Attention. Money. Loyalty. And the truth that always comes too late. When you play with hearts, you don't just break love. You break lives. Marcus once said, "I don't fight for people who don't fight for me." Yara once posted, "What's done in the dark always comes to light." And Atlanta watched it all unfold. Because the brightest spotlight always reveals the deepest shadows.